We are recording. It's Rushen Players Get Together, and we're talking about some of our favourite moments in our acting careers with this fantastic society. So, round the table, we've got Adrienne, Katie, Nick, Brian, and Moira, and Jed, me. And I think we should start with Brian. Perhaps tell us about some of your favourite roles or plays that you've seen.
Not just because I got Best Actor for it, but I loved Real Inspector Hound. So if I could just recite to the best of my memory, it will follow me to my grave and become my epitaph. Here lies Moon, the second string, where's Higgs? Sometimes I dream of revolution, a bloody coup d'etat by the second rank, troops of actors slaughtered by their understudies, magicians sawn in half by indefatigably smiling glamour girls, cricket teams wiped out by marauding bands of 12th men. I dream of champions chopped down by rabbit-punching sparring partners while eternal bridesmaids turn and rape the bridegrooms over the sausage rolls, and parliamentary private secretaries plant bombs in the minister's humber. Comedians die on provincial stages, robbed of their feeds by mutely triumphant stooges, and march, an army of assistants and deputies, the seconds in command, the runners-up, the right-hand men, storming the palace gates wherein the second son has already mounted the throne, having committed regicide with a croquet mallet. Stand-ins of the world, stand up! Sometimes I dream of Higgs.
Woo! Excellent. God, that's a long quote to remember.
What about that?
Dead easy. Half pages are dead easy. It's the single lines and the...
I know, but
Right.
to half page after all those years.
It's one I loved, and I did it twice. I did it across and then reprised it on the island, and it was dead easy learning it again because I remember
And
something.
is it still in your head, or do you have
Yes.
to refresh it? So it's there.
It's there. It's
You can just
yeah.
call it. Oh wow.
Get in boot.
And Tony Wright?
But no,
Tony
but
Wright, was he in that with Jack?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
but then asked me the birthday party. Well, you know that.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff.
that's
Okay,
interesting.
don't tap the table, please.
Don't ask me next year.
Oh, go
What
to
about
Katie.
you, Moira?
Katie,
Oh,
come on,
no,
Katie.
I've gone red.
It's okay, it's not on camera.
Oh, well, I've had just some brilliant experiences. I've been in some absolutely brilliant plays and with such fun, just such a laugh. You know, we had a real social buzz, didn't we? You know, we go to the
Yes,
pub afterwards
Yes.
and,
Yeah.
you know, it was such a laugh. Anyway, we're not like that now. But I think it's got to be, my favourite part was Laura in Still Life. And yes, it just happened that I got Best Actress. It helps, doesn't it? Because that was just so brilliant. It was such a good play.
Oh,
And we had such a laugh.
We did. Yeah.
And we just did so well at Port Sunlight, didn't we?
We did
really
we
well.
did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Robert was brought into that, wasn't
Yeah,
he? He
yeah.
was just a little walk-on part as a soldier who had about 3 lines. The main guy, Alistair, had to up it off to England, didn't he?
Yeah,
He left
yeah,
the island.
Yeah.
And so I upgraded Robert.
Mm.
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
And he played Trevor Howard's part, didn't he?
He did,
Yeah,
he did.
yeah.
But we had other brilliant
Wow.
people like Norma as Mrs. Whatever with the bun.
Oh, yes. the
She
high
was
bu- yes.
brilliant, and
Yeah.
Becky was in it as well, wasn't she?
Becky was the young
girl, yeah.
yeah.
And of course we had Wayne and Carl.
Wayne was the cheeky station master chatting
Yeah,
up Mrs.
yeah.
Was she called Mrs. Baggott or something?
How long
Yeah.
ago is
Uh,
this?
Yeah.
How long ago, roughly?
2007.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Still Life.
Yeah.
I should
Became
remember.
Brief Encounter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was brilliant. You were marvellous in that case.
Oh, thank you. Well, I didn't try and do a Celia Howard because you couldn't.
Thank God you didn't. You
She was awful, wasn't she?
Yes, I can't imagine her having a quickie in somebody's flat. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was the thing, wasn't it? The film, in the film, sorry, a bit of trivia coming up here, the film, they implied that they had actually consummated their relationship, but in the play, Or is it the other way round?
No, just wait a minute. Because the play came first, and they didn't
No.
ever meet. They didn't ever go to his friend's flat.
But they didn't in the
But
film
they
either.
did. They did.
Yeah, but they got caught.
Well, they didn't actually manage to get their act together because somebody came in,
Yeah.
and then suddenly she was consumed with.
Well, she had
guilt.
to hide and then rush
She had to
out.
hide, yeah.
Like a
yes.
common prostitute.
But then she went back to her dear Fred, didn't she?
Yeah,
in the
she
film?
did.
God.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Anyway,
that's me.
yeah.
Sorry to digress.
Yeah,
Next.
I've done my bit now because I've.
No, you've not.
No, you
No, you've
haven't.
not.
Come on.
It's Nick next.
Well,
Nick next.
think, because you've done so
Nick
much.
next. I've not done a huge number of parts. Lady Killers I enjoyed because it was most of it. I mean, is that it's just a really good cast. Everybody's really good fun, and that's what
That's what it's all
really
about.
nice people, and it's just a barrel of laughs really. So I enjoyed my part being a little policeman. In fact, I've tend to be policeman all the time now. Whenever there's a policeman, I seem to end up being a constable. I did get promoted to sergeant last time, so I was doing better.
Well.
It was good fun.
Graham was something else, wasn't he?
Oh yes.
He was something else in
Oh,
the show.
superb. Yeah.
It just suited him perfectly.
Yeah,
didn't it?
absolutely down to the ground.
That full repertoire and at the end where everyone's getting bumped off. It was good. And it was a great set, that, remember?
It was.
Good set.
It was actually.
What the?
What we're talking about?
Lady
Lady
Killers.
Killers.
Lady Killers.
Louis.
Yeah.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
Graham was...
And
Yeah, he
Midsummer
was
Night's
the
Dream was
best,
a
yeah.
magnificent
Yeah.
set.
Yeah. Oh, he was brilliant.
Credit
He's
was
always
good.
very good.
Set was great, wasn't
Yeah.
Well, that was an impressive cast, wasn't it? Midsummer Night's Dream, wasn't it?
It's a challenge, and that, I mean, the set for that, I thought John worked wonders with that. He really did. Well,
it? With assistance.
everybody did.
And
I just
remember
remember
Midsummer
the
Night's
costume.
Dream. You know,
Yeah.
We
You
had
wonder
the Russian Players stalwarts in there, didn't we?
Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I just remember when the tree
Well,
fell down. Remember when the tree fell down on set? Everybody
Yeah.
just carried
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. I use my son. He does fantastic Yorkshire puddings, and they're each about they're huge, like small football, but all lumpy and beautiful. And he was staying with us, and I said to him, "We're not going to eat all those Yorkshire puddings." On the last night on the set, we had a huge log. It was about 30 feet, I think, across the stage, that John Moon had dragged in.
That's right, yeah.
God. And I stuck these Yorkshire puds on, and they look like wonderful fungi, you know. So it's just nice to keep adding bits to it. Yeah. I was making the costumes for that. I started about July, and my house was like a sweatshop. Frank was working away, every room was full of fabrics and stuff like that.
Good job Frank was walking away.
Well, yes, yeah. Things have changed.
Frail?
somewhat now.
Who's next?
People looking at me. Some of these I wasn't involved with. My first one was one of my favourites, which was What's for Pudding, and I'd gone along and got a part, and surprise, I didn't get Best Actress, but I did get Best Supporting Actress.
I remember it well.
Yeah.
That was really good fun with
Little
the
Dennis.
amazing red cagoule.
That's right.
And then the other one that I really liked was, which I didn't think I was going to at all, was The Horse in Wind in the Willows.
Oh, that was
Oh,
brilliant.
Albert the Horse,
right,
thanks to the
yeah.
horse brasses on the
That
waistcoat.
helped you, didn't it, in the chains,
Absolute-
yeah.
And
You
That was
became
a-
that horse, didn't you? Yeah.
That's surprising how many people remember that.
a lot of people remember
One
that.
of my sailing friends, Roger, who's our chairman of the sailing, he still remembers that. He said, "You just believed you were Albert the horse." Yeah.
I don't know if I should be pleased with that.
Just shows you can act.
You had a kind of. I know you
Well,
say
having
you
such a
don't.
long face about it now.
I know you say you don't do accents, but you had a kind of a Brummy accent,
Brummy
as well,
accent.
and it sounded you sounded like quite depressed and hard put on. It was brilliant.
That
and
was
you
a
moved
mammoth
right.
performance, wasn't it? Because there were so many
There's
people
so many
involved.
people.
Were you involved in that?
No, no,
Nick?
no, no.
Was that before you came?
Oh, before my time. Yeah.
There were a lot of children as well.
Yeah,
It was a
littlies,
really
yeah.
big cast. We had a
Yeah.
photograph with everybody
Yeah,
on
we
it.
did. Yeah. Yeah.
I wish we could have the return of Wayne, really, because you think he was perfect for that, wasn't he? And even
Oh, yes.
not knowing the scripts too closely,
It's still
he
blank.
got away with it, didn't
Yeah, it's still
He's
blank.
just so cheeky with it, isn't he? And
Yeah.
inventive.
he? In fact,
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
had the right part, didn't they? It was funny how it all fell into place.
You
know,
and
we had
me,
Dan,
weren't you, Jen?
I was
You
me.
and me,
We had
Nasty
Dan.
Louise.
Yeah.
We had Norman.
Yeah. Norman, yeah.
But everyone
You were
kind
in
of-
it. weren't you?
Yeah, I
what they-
was,
what
Were you the magistrate?
The magistrate, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's
What's
right.
Dan's
Yeah.
wife called? She
Liz.
was the laundry. She was.
Liz.
Yeah.
Oh, she was the
Yeah.
barge
She was the
woman.
barge woman.
Pat was the laundry woman, wasn't she?
Yeah,
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 yeah. It's
Long Johns.
brilliant, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Poor
So-
Phil, I think, had a nervous breakdown.
I
more or
think-
less after.
yeah,
I don't
I
think
think
it's
after
had
that-
much to do
Doing
with
a
it.
tableau.
He left
Yeah.
after that. Yes,
Phil.
giving us tableaus. Yeah.
Phil, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted me to wear stockings and suspenders, didn't he, when I turned down, you remember? And everybody said, oh, come on. Yeah, oh, that was his thing he said about judges, you know, I can't judges. Yeah,
He did have some
Phil.
quite strange ideas.
He did at
didn't
times,
he?
Phil, yeah.
Quite
I think,
complicated.
yes, I think he's a lot in his own little world, and sometimes one of us can get into it with him, and he's really happy. But
Has anybody ever seen him? I mean, I presume he's still
I
around.
bumped
isn't he?
into him at a jazz
Taught
thing
at
at
Ramsey Grammar, didn't he, I
Laxey,
think?
Laxey
Yeah.
Tavern or something there. They did a jazz thing last year, and I saw Phil there, and I went up to greet him, and I think he'd seen me, and he seemed to be kind of not seeing me. Anyway, I went right up, and I said, "Oh, it was lovely to see you. Why don't you come down south?" And he said he's still a bit bitter
No,
about
that's a
everything. I
shame.
don't know.
Well,
Well,
he fell
I
out,
don't
fell
know.
out with big
Yeah.
time with a certain person, and I think that made it.
That's what happens in drama clubs,
Of
doesn't
course,
it? You know,
yeah.
Real
Well,
drama.
I'm
It's
on
part
and
of
off
the farce.
stage.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jed,
The artistic
about you?
temper.
Oh gosh. Well, I can just say any because I'm just the same character over and over again.
One who always gets the women.
The one that always made me laugh was Louis Coynes.
yeah, that was a
wow,
good one.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first
Do you
Russian
know,
play that I
I
saw.
Oh dear me! And that
Yes.
was a lot of fun
Yeah.
for a number of reasons. Not having to kiss Wayne, of course, but
Mm.
I just remember that line from Norman. You
What?
know, where he goes, "That fucking bitch."
Oh yes.
And the whole place, was like brought to a standstill,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yes.
Norman McGregor Edwards.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
good
true. I
one.
never hear Norman swear.
That was
That's
something
not
else.
really
I think he
nice.
enjoyed it. But it was
Yeah.
good how we had. That was just
Actually,
a
do
nice
you know, you
little
mentioned it the other
formation.
day. Some
Yeah.
bumped into him, and it came up in conversation.
And
He
Jane
was-
doesn't either. I mean, all the rest of us can.
Yeah,
Well,
so,
bloody well done. What do you mean?
That's
Brian's
why
a
I like
God-fearing
the
man.
Yeah.
Never heard you
That's why we
swear.
have to be careful.
Okay,
about
I'll
young
put-
people, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
it's when you're doing the acting, you can say and do things that you
Yeah,
just
of course you can.
wouldn't do.
Mhm.
Mm. Well, some people can't.
I'll put you on the spot, Adrian.
Oh no, I've done enough.
No, come
Come
on.
on, tell us.
Just tell us about
Tell
some
us
of the
who.
Oh, wow,
Who really impresses you? There must be someone's role, not
Oh God.
Or even
somebody that
something
really
that you've
stands
directed.
out.
I'm just thinking
It doesn't
what
have to be
Well, you
directed
just think
in.
that was a magic moment.
Yeah, I remember a magic moment doing Ruffian on the Stair, the Joe Orton play, and there was Wayne, this top trio, Wayne,
Brilliant.
Jenny, and Carl, and we took it away to what's it called? It's not
Ellesmere
Port
Port.
Sunlight. You
Ellesmere
went to
Port.
Sunlight. Another place we've never been to before
Not Ellesmere
or
Port.
since. They never asked us back. No, it's on the Wirral.
Sure, it's
I
not
can't
Ellesmere
remember.
Port.
Anyway,
Maybe.
we went and one of the things in Ruffian on the Stair, Wayne, his character, goes and pours himself a whiskey and knocks it back. Well, we had won we didn't win, but we did very well with in the one act festival. So took it away, and when we got there, I realised I hadn't packed the apple juice for the whiskey. Now I'm the director. Now, if I had wanted to sabotage somebody else's play, I couldn't have done a better job. And this is my own play. So I went to the little spa shop and asked for apple juice. Well, they didn't have any, but I saw a half bottle of whiskey. I don't know what was going on in my mind at all. So I got this half bottle of whiskey. Sorry, so I got this half bottle of whiskey, and killed the time, and I put it in the bottle that was in the kitchen cabinet for Wayne to go and help himself to. For some reason, Wayne had never poured himself a lot of apple juice before, but he really wanted to go for it. So he filled this tumbler up, this whiskey tumbler up with whiskey, and then he just knocked it straight back. It must have been about 10 shots in it, possibly.
Wow.
And then I was in the wings. I didn't know what was going on. I was really, really stupid because I just didn't. I just don't know what was in my mind at all buying the whiskey. Cold tea would have done.
So did he just choke on it?
So, well, what happened? There was this moment. I knew it was the moment when he was going to have because I could hear the thing being undone. And then there was a huge roar of laughter from the audience. Afterwards, Wayne said to me, "Fucking hell." He says, "There was whiskey in that." I said, "Yeah." He said, "I just thought, right, I'm going to knock it." He knocked it. He said, "I did this, knocked it straight back." And then, you know, people who like whiskey, often they have a sip on, because I used to watch my dad and I used to think, why did they drink it if it tastes so horrible? Because he would, him and his friends would take the first drop and they'd pull the faces and then go, you know, after, but they'd pull these horrible faces. I couldn't understand it. Apparently, Wayne absolutely hates whiskey, for a start. So he knocked it back, and it must have been his expression. And there was like waves and waves of laughter. But it must have thrown him for the rest.
How did he manage with the rest of the performance?
Well, he got through it, but
Big constitution.
So I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But you know, if I'd just supposing that I'd been your play and I'd been the props lady.
You've
you'd
got
have been
form for
lit-
sabotaging plays, though.
I
haven't you?
know. What did
Doing
it
the
in
love-
the lover?
The bloody
Pincer.
drum, the bongo drum. And it'd be like we've been doing it all the time. There's nothing in the cupboard. I just open the cupboard door up, and then suddenly there's like a load of books appeared.
Yeah, because I know that there's nothing worse on stage when you're watching somebody supposed to be in a house that somebody lives in, and they open a cupboard to just get one thing out, like a bongo drum, and there's nothing else in this big sideboard. So I stacked it with stuff.
Yes.
And I also gave an extra thing with a coat. You'd never had a coat stand thing, had you, before?
Something annoyed me.
You bumped into that 'cause you never had one of those. And this was for the composition. No, I'm good at that. Yeah, beware of me. But I have won a few. Despite. So that's me.
Very good.
That'll do.
Good stuff.
That's fine. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So
Great.
go on, Katie. Any real moments that stick out over the years?
What, apart from winning Best Actress 2007 at Port Sunlight? Did I mention that?
No. Tell us more.
Masses of things. Oh, there's countless things. I mean, I go way back to when I was 13. That's when I first started.
20 years ago.
That's it, Brian. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. There's just loads of stuff. I mean, when did I start? Back in the early 90s.
Yes, because you drifted away, hadn't you?
Yeah, had the
After being
kids
with
and
you,
things,
and
yeah.
your career.
Early
You came
stuff.
and did you? It wasn't the Steamy you saw, was it?
Yeah, it was the
The
Steamer.
first Steamy.
Yeah.
Is that when you decided to come?
Yeah, because I was so wowed with the Steamy. I thought, this is...
And that
this
was
is-
Vera, bless her again, wasn't
No,
it? She took that.
But, you know,
Absolutely.
before that,
Yeah.
no offence, but we would go to a Russian Players play and it was a bit like a bit of an endurance. I mean, not with all
Yeah.
of them, but,
No,
you
no.
know, saw the Steamy and I was just like, this is absolutely brilliant. Just blew me away. It was so funny and you were all so good. And it was, I just thought, right, I'm going to get back in here.
Yeah. You weren't there
So-
the night that Leslie disappeared. She said, there was a little silence and she said, "Oh, I'm off to the Ringers," and she should have said that about 6 or 7 pages further on.
Yeah.
And she brought that first act to a close because there was nothing we could do.
Oh, right.
Didn't get to stomp the blankets or anything.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Yeah.
But that was good, and bless Vera for finding these fantastic
Yeah,
players.
she
Yeah,
did a bit.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did.
Adrian stripping up.
You
What
want
was that, Brian?
Yeah.
He was
Oh,
in the
stripping
Steamy.
off.
Adrian, yeah.
Yeah.
No shame.
I know.
Yeah.
Brazen hussy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd have to. What we should do really is, if you want a reminiscence group, you need to let us go away and make some notes and think about
Mm.
what we're going to talk about. Because when you're just on spec, your mind goes blank, doesn't it?
So this lot's not going on YouTube, is it?
I don't see why not. There's some
Oh,
interesting
bloody
material. Why
hell.
not? We can come back for part 2, but it's been absolutely
Yeah,
fantastic.
we haven't
So
slandered anything.
thank you very much. We've been testing out our new equipment, which is what it's all about. So thank you, Rushen Players, and we'll catch up again sometime. Goodbye.
You sound such a smoothie.